Welcome everyone to today's live Q&A, and today I wanted to talk about when you're feeling overwhelmed with a big project or a big task that you want to get done. And the easiest way to do that is through a process called chunking. So chunking down a project. So for example, I have a coach and I sat down with her today and I sort of said, look, I'm just feeling I've got so much to do, so many things on my to-do list with my business, and I feel I'm just not making any progress with them. So she actually got me to say, okay, well, where are you really struggling? So for me, uh, I do a lot of content creation, and I sort of lump that into a big basket, I'd say, or a task. And I needed to actually break that down into, okay, say I only had a 30-minute time between dinner and sitting down with the kids to do some work. So I think, okay, what can I do in a 30-minute time that I feel like I'm making progress? So for me, it is going to be breaking down the task of writing a piece of content. Okay, even if it's, say I'm writing a free ebook. So it might be I'm going to come up with the title and I'm going to come up with an outline. And that's it. That's you breaking that task down into the simplest form that you can do straight away. Or it might be, if you've already got those done, then it could be you're just going to chip away at, say it's got 5 points in your outline. You're going to just do one of those points. Or, you might want to do two. So it's just a simple little way of breaking that task down into manageable bite-sized pieces of work that you can do in 30 minutes, an hour. And then, over the time, those little 30 to 60 minute little pieces of work will add up. And if you had breaking them down, I tend to find I'm someone who I need to see something is achieved and finished to feel like I'm making progress with that. So by knowing I have a small goal that's broken down into an achievable time frame, at the end of that time frame, if I've done that goal, great. If I haven't, maybe it's another 30 minutes that I need and I don't have that right now, then that's what I'm going to be focusing on in the next. And it could just be writing it down on a post-it note and you stick it on your computer so that next time you sit down, you can go, right, I know exactly what I'm doing, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, done. And for me, that's really been a game changer because I've got a 3-year-old who she's home with me most of the week. And obviously I've got things to do around the house and things with her. So I can really only get small amounts of time, 30 minutes, maybe an hour if I'm lucky, where I'm not interrupted, that I can work on my business. So for those days, that's really key for me to feel like I am still making progress. And that's, I think, as Tony Robbins says, when we make progress in our lives, that's when we feel more fulfilled and more happy. So for me, that's a really big thing, especially if you're a mum and you're building your own business. You're torn in lots of different directions and you have different priorities. Obviously, your children are a priority and their needs are important too. And you're going to do everything you can to make them happy. But ultimately, if you want to build a business and you want to be successful, then you need to prioritize times where you're going to get your business fitted in throughout the day. So yeah, this is where chunking down a big project can be very useful. It can be useful in lots of areas. And it sort of got me thinking, all right, well, I kind of feel like, I don't know what's going on, middle of the year, maybe the cold snap that's come through. I feel like I just need to go through the house and just do a big declutter. But that in itself has been such a big, overwhelming task that I just keep putting it off. So I was actually thinking today, why don't I just narrow it down to one room, and not even one room, but one little piece of that room. And then I'll just, once that room's done, then I'll go, right, next room. And just pick one little piece one little area of that room that I'm going to work on. And same goes for a business. When you're building a business, there's a lot to it. So if you can break it down into sections, into tasks or sections within that project, and then even further, as I've just said earlier, so writing a piece of content, so writing a blog, for example, if that's something that you do, then there's writing the blog, there's coming up with the idea for the blog, there's writing the blog, there's posting the blog, thinking about where you're going to repurpose that piece of content as well. Then each of those can be one task in itself. And yeah, it just makes something that could be very overwhelming or stressful when you're super busy and you got a lot on your plate. And the other thing that we discussed with my coach was, and I've read it lots of different places, is simply coming up with a maximum of 1 to 2 or 3 things that you want to achieve in that particular area for the day. And then over the course of the week, that might add up to, say, a bigger task. All of those little tasks add up to a bigger task. So over the course of the week, you achieve the bigger task, but throughout the week, you just pick 1 or 2 things in your business that you want to achieve that day. It could be you needed to write a follow-up email, so you did that. It could be that you wanted to come up with a title for a blog, so you just did that. It could be lots of little things like that. So yeah, think about what is a project or a task you're putting off at the moment, or you're a little bit nervous about starting on, and how could you break that down into some simple little 30, even 20-minute activities that you can do that's going to help you reach that bigger goal. So yeah, I just wanted to make it really short and sweet today. I hope that has made some sense and some value to you today. And I'd like to hear back from you. Do you have any other tips on breaking down a big project that make it more manageable? And also, how do you track your progress? Do you use an app? Do you use a Excel spreadsheet? I know there's other project planning templates you can use. What have you found to be the best that you use personally? I'd love some feedback and any pointers that you might have. I'm always looking for ways of improving myself. So yeah, I look forward to hearing back from you in comments. If you have any questions that you'd like me to answer for next week or talk about, please post them in the comments section below. And yeah, any other feedback, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks.